A single notification, a backstage photo, the fandom just went completely silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was just turned upside down. Welcome to StarScope K-Report.
Yes, welcome.
Join us as we ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates.
Right.
From, internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
We really do.
And today's deep dive mission is, it's untangling a massive collision. We're looking at what happens when a meticulously crafted global image crashes into a single VIP concert trip.
Yeah, a single trip that changed everything.
Exactly. We are unpacking the headline that is just absolutely dominating the timeline right now, which is RM and J-Hope caught. The secret photo fans are furious about.
It really is the defining story of the moment. I mean, across all the forums, we're looking at a situation that is actively fracturing one of the most organized fandoms in music history.
Oh, totally.
And to understand how we got here, we don't just need to look at the photo itself, but, the entire cultural machinery surrounding it.
Right. There's so much context.
Exactly. We have to examine the August 12th Toronto incident, the vastly different reactions between domestic and international fans, the deafening silence from corporate, and the very real institutional fallout that followed.
Right. Let's just start right at the epicenter of this. So August 12th, 2026, Rogers Stadium in Toronto. Chris Brown and Usher are on their massive sold-out R&B tour. And this is crucial for everyone listening, I think. This was not some blurry, telephoto lens shot leaked by a sussing fan hiding in the bushes.
Well, not at all.
Right. This was completely public, completely voluntary. J-Hope actually posted an IG story of himself from the VIP section, like singing along to Look at Me Now.
Yeah, he put it out there himself.
And then the match that lit the powder keg, Chris Brown posted a backstage photo on his own account. It has him smiling, posing with the two BTS members. And the caption was something about walking in your purpose.
Which immediately triggers a crisis of brand identity. I mean, if we look at the established brand of BTS, we aren't just talking about a group that achieves a perfect all-kill on the domestic charts.
Right. Or sells out stadiums.
Exactly. Over the past decade, their identity has been intrinsically linked to social justice and mental health advocacy. We all know they served as special presidential envoys at the UN.
That was huge.
And they launched the Love Myself anti-violence campaign with UNICEF back in, 2017?
Right, 2017. And we don't need to rehash their entire resume here, but we do need to acknowledge how that resume boxed them in.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't just casually support a charity. They built their entire global ethos around protecting the vulnerable. Yeah. They asked the fandom to, invest in their morality. So when your bias is standing there, smiling backstage with a specific artist, it forces a massive reckoning for the fans.
It does. And to remain strictly impartial here and look solely at the public record regarding Chris Brown, which is what's driving this fandom reckoning, we have to look at the timeline the fans are citing.
Right, let's look at the facts.
So in 2009, he pleaded guilty to a felony assault conviction involving Rihanna. Then in 2021, there was an incident where his dog mauled a housekeeper. According to the records, that actually just resulted in a $13 million payout in June of this year, 2026.
Wow. Just this year.
Yeah. There was also a 2022 yacht allegation that was dismissed, though Brown is currently suing Warner Brothers for $500 million over a documentary about his history.
Right.
And perhaps most relevant to the timeline of this specific concert, on July 24, 2026, which is literally weeks before this Toronto show, he pleaded guilty to a fray regarding a 2023 London nightclub incident where a promoter was struck with a bottle.
Okay, so if you are a fan who has spent years, maybe a decade, buying into the Love Myself anti-violence message, seeing this photo isn't just confusing, it feels deeply hypocritical.
Right, the contrast is stark.
It's like buying ESG stock, or, environmental, social, and governance stock, in a cutting-edge green energy company, only to find out their CEO vacations on a deep-sea oil rig.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal analogy, honestly.
You didn't just buy the product, you paid a premium for the ethics. And when the ethics vanish, the product's value just crashes.
Exactly. Because when an artist or an agency monetizes morality, that morality becomes a central pillar of the product offering.
It's part of the package.
It is. It ceases to be a private choice. Taking a photo backstage is no longer just two musicians at a networking event. It becomes perceived as a tacit endorsement, or at least a normalization, of the other person's public record. And that is exactly where we see the fandom violently split.
Oh, the split is staggering. I mean, it's wild. But before we get into that, if you love staying updated on the absolute wildest shifts in fandom dynamics, make sure you subscribe to StarScope K-Report because we have got even bigger scoops ahead.
Right.
But honestly, the K-netz reaction versus the iFans reaction here is a literal case study in cultural divides.
It really is. When you look at the domestic Korean reaction, the K-netz, the prevailing sentiment on the forums was surprisingly dismissive.
Yeah, which blew my mind.
Right. The comments were mostly asking, why is everyone so sensitive? It's just a concert. They viewed it as two guys enjoying their time off before their own tour.
Which, like I said, honestly blew my mind at first. But then you contrast that with the international fans, the iFans, who were just absolutely incandescent with rage.
Yeah, a completely different tone.
We saw major figures speaking out, like Lea Salonga, who is a Tony-winning legend and a very famous, very vocal, longtime ARMY. She just posted one single word.
What did she say?
Disappointed, period.
Wow, just that.
Just that. And that summed up the Western Hemisphere's reaction perfectly. But, you know, why the massive gap? Why is a fandom that usually moves as a single coordinated army suddenly fighting a civil war?
Well, it comes down to the fundamentally different ways the American and Korean entertainment industries operate and how those ecosystems shape public perception.
Right.
The American music industry has a long history of separating the art from the artist, often rehabilitating or simply ignoring legal convictions if the artist remains profitable.
Yeah, if they make money, they stay. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Chris Brown's Breezy Bowl XX tour is a record-breaking commercial success. The U.S. infrastructure just isn't built to enforce a moral code on its pop stars.
Right, but the Korean industry is the exact opposite. It's ruthlessly strict.
Completely. In the K-pop sphere, an idol's character is their primary currency. The public record shows us past K-pop scandals involving illegal hidden footage, assault, or even severe bullying allegations from middle school that resulted in idols being instantly exiled from the industry.
Oh yeah, canceled overnight.
We've seen former stars end up with prison time and electronic ankle monitors. The domestic industry does not tolerate scandal.
Right.
So because Chris Brown is an American artist, the Korean press has rarely covered his legal history. For the average K-netz, he doesn't have that cultural baggage. He's just a famous American R&B singer. They don't have his legal history burning in their minds the way Western fans do.
I see the logic there, I really do. But for the international fans, you can't just chalk this up to a cultural misunderstanding.
No, it goes deeper.
Much deeper. This fandom is overwhelmingly female. And for a lot of these fans, this photo didn't just cause a PR headache, it reopened actual visceral wounds.
Right.
We are talking about survivors of violence looking at this screen. The emotional gap is massive because one side sees a casual night out and the other side sees their idols, men who built a platform on protecting women, smiling next to a man with a documented history of violence against women.
And that brings us to the agency's response.
Yeah.
Because how does a massive corporate entity like HYBE handle an extreme emotional crisis that is pitting their domestic base against their international base?
They don't. They just completely ghosted the separation. Absolute deafening silence. No statement from Big Hit Music, nothing from RM, nothing from J-Hope.
Which, from a corporate strategy standpoint, is highly calculated, even if it feels incredibly jarring to the fans.
You have to look the market context here.
Okay, lay it out.
HYBE shares have literally halved this year. The agency is dealing with immense volatility across multiple fronts. If they issue a formal apology or statement, they legitimize the outrage.
Oh, I see. Right. They convert what they view as a personal night off by two adults into an official corporate crisis. Putting a permanent date stamp on it makes it part of the official brand history.
Yeah, that makes sense from a PR angle.
By staying silent, they are employing the classic crisis management tactic of starving the fire of oxygen.
Starving the fire, sure. But they were definitely still posting, because on August 21st, just 9 days after the concert, the duo posted a very relaxed TikTok video.
Yeah, on the boat.
Yes, on a boat in Toronto, flashing peace signs, looking totally unbothered by the digital inferno happening online. And all of this is happening right before their own massive comeback shows. They had their sold-out Arirang tour hitting the exact same venue, Rogers Stadium, on August 22nd and 23rd.
The juxtaposition there is fascinating.
Yeah.
While the international online community was in uproar, the physical local reality in Toronto was celebratory.
Oh, totally.
The city actually rolled out temporary BTS BLVD signs in North York due to local fan organization. The corporate bet here is that the digital outrage won't translate into empty stadium seats.
Right. People are still going to the show.
Exactly. The industry logic dictates that if the brand's momentum is strong enough, it can absorb a localized moral shock without needing to show remorse to keep selling tickets.
But wait, I have to push back on that corporate logic, because staying silent might protect the stock price today, but it feels like they are severely underestimating the intelligence of their own audience.
Now you.
Well, they are essentially telling a fandom that they train to be hyper-analytical, to just stop analyzing, just move on, stream the comeback, and keep the Hallyu wave rolling. Like, ignore the man behind the curtain.
And you are entirely right to push back on that, because that strategy of silence didn't actually work.
It definitely didn't.
No, it escalated it from a social media dispute into a tangible institutional crisis.
And that silence, it just triggered a massive real-world consequence for RM's global reputation. You won't believe what a major nonprofit did next, and if you think this is just contained to Stan Twitter, well, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update, because the real-world fallout is unprecedented in K-pop history. The outrage actually spilled over into the nonprofit sector.
It did. On August 19, 2026, we saw an official intervention. The Pixel Project, which is a highly respected global nonprofit focused on ending violence against women, released a blistering official statement.
Blistering is the right word for it.
They announced the indefinite suspension of RM from their 16 male role models, helping to stop violence against women list.
And he was just added to that list in 2024. To be publicly removed by an anti-violence NGO is a staggering blow to a reputation built on UN speeches.
And it goes deeper than just the suspension.
Yeah.
The organization publicly stated that they are actively reviewing and revising a 2025 Father's Day op-ed that prominently featured RM as a case study of an imperfect but positive male role model.
You're scrubbing him.
Essentially, yes. In their statement, the Pixel Project explicitly cited his silence over the Chris Brown controversy as deafening. They concluded that his refusal to address the photo directly conflicted with his past public efforts to address internalized misogyny and support women in the arts.
Wait, so an organization dedicated to women's safety just quietly removed him and reviewed his past features. That feels like it shouldn't just be a footnote in this story. Did they actually demand that HYBE do something about it?
They did lay out a very specific demand. They didn't just cancel his status and walk away. The nonprofit urged both RM and J-Hope to donate generously to domestic violence shelters in every single city on their airing tour route.
Wow, that's a direct call to action.
And this demand gained incredible traction after reports surfaced that Chris Brown had allegedly targeted the female army member online who had criticized the backstage photo.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Pixel Project stance is essentially a challenge to the idols. If your brand is built on being decent human beings, you have to be accountable when your choices hurt the vulnerable communities you claim to protect.
This is where we really have to look at the heart of this fandom, because fandom, especially at the scale of ARMA, is not about blind loyalty.
Not anymore, certainly.
It's not just about streaming a music video on multiple devices until you pass out. For a massive portion of these fans, holding their idols accountable is an act of love. The disappointment we're seeing, the boycotts, the trending hashtags, the alignment with the Pixel Project, that is proof that they still care deeply about what the group represents.
That is a critical sociological point regarding the Hallyu wave. We are looking at a fan base with immense, proven organizational power.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just recently, this exact same fandom forced HYBE to completely drop dynamic pricing on the airing tour.
That was wild to watch unfold.
Right. We saw ticket prices artificially inflating from $150 to nearly $1,000, and the fans mobilized. They organized a boycott, pushed back against the algorithmic pricing, and they actually won.
They beat the system.
They forced a massive multinational corporation into a complete reversal of their ticketing policy.
Exactly. They operate like a decentralized global union. They know exactly how to organize, how to draft statements, and how to hit the agency's bottom line. But this time, they aren't fighting an algorithm over ticket prices. They're fighting for the moral soul of their bias.
Right.
They stood at the UN and told the world to speak yourself. But right now, the fans are the ones speaking up, writing the statements, demanding the donations to the shelters, while the idols stay completely quiet.
Which forces us to ask, does a global platform built on protecting young women come with a moral guest list attached?
I mean, it has to, right? If from the matinee to the leader, your entire group's ethos is built on a specific set of values, you can't just clock out of that ethos when you want to get into a VIP section.
That is the ultimate tension we are witnessing. We are watching the real-time fracture of a carefully built, decade-long narrative.
Yeah.
The modern celebrity machine, especially in K-pop, heavily intertwines an artist persona with a corporate narrative. They sell a parasocial ideal. But when those actions appear to contradict the story they've sold, the foundation cracks.
It crumbles, yeah.
Popularity chart all kills and sold-out stadiums aren't enough to sustain trust if the core integrity of the brand is in question.
It perfectly illustrates the inherent danger of values-based branding. You cannot monetize morality and then expect the shield of privacy when your personal choices misalign with that brand. So we have to leave everyone listening with this question.
Okay, what is it?
Can you truly separate the art from the artist when the artist's brand is their morality? What happens to the Hallyu wave when the curated, UN-sanctioned perfection of a K-pop idol collides with the messy, unapologetic reality of the global music industry?
The music industry machinery is designed to protect revenue. But as we've seen today, fandoms are designed to protect their communities. Watching those two unstoppable forces collide over this photo is completely unprecedented, and it is going to change how agencies build idol personas forever.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.